Oh, I told you. I'll write it in the chat.
What it is. Every revolution or every political movement or any kind of change, and having someone, okay, CIA, which is fucking for you to call me CIA when you know I'm not.
Everything was politicized. It was, oh, this is when we became the left versus the right. But both sides are trash. In COVID,
his own thing. So it seems to be that money's the issue, that like we're using money and that's how politics is being pushed. Because now we've seen what someone does when they use their own money and it doesn't seem to be a solution. So I feel like we take money out of politics, we'll have a much better political system.
Politician, you think they're gonna come out and tell me the truth? They was lying to my mama. They ain't gonna never tell us.
So everybody, we look at certain things just because, oh, this happens in the hood or we see this every day. All the way up. These people were speaking truth. King, we could talk X, we could talk it all. They were speaking truth.
What's going on in anyone's mind, but let's take it as a given that Gray's argument is true, that the argument to not have ID is that it would be discriminatory versus certain socioeconomic brackets or something. It's like
the world's greatest trial run of what people will do and what people won't do. And we are the only country on the planet that really fought against the government. A lot of it,
because you focus on 80-20 issues. I'm looking at the Epstein issue as we have 80% of the information we need to prosecute these people that actually did anything, but you're focusing on the 20% trying to take down Donald Trump, which you're never going to get. So I'm going to keep sitting here with a smug-ass face on every single day.
I'll explain. Good question. I'll give you the answer. The Republican Party constantly talks about transgenders and transgender surgery to minors.
I'm mostly on the left ideologically, but I don't associate with the Democrats because they're not ideologically on the left. The Democrats are clowns, and they're also losers.
About to be any engaging conversation. It's not about to be any discourse about different political ideologies, what works and what doesn't. If that is the outcome, right? For example, I'm not going to go and just put myself in the middle of a KKK rally.
Verify me. I'm not a fucking fed. They always do this. I'll say this, right? But they did the same thing to Nick. We've seen the video. They'll call people who are genuine and authentic feds. Because
the interesting thing to me is that the ones that claim that they believe the Constitution are now trampling the Constitution. The ones that said they believed in the First Amendment, the freedom of speech, right, are now going against the freedom of
leadership perspective.
They don't have no plan. They don't ever talk about nothing positive about the Democrat Party. Everything is just anti-Trump. They're not willing to have a conversation. They call us fascists. We willing to have a conversation. Charlie Kirk's willing to have a conversation.
Pleasure. Bitch, you don't fucking sit up there on some hill and tell me who ate the cabbage. You don't sit there and tell me what to give you or what to do. You are suspect. You have the left boosting you, the left loving you, the left promoting you with your royal husband, who we're about to expose. So get ready for that, George. So we figured you out. We got your number, and you can't stand the fact that you've run this big psyop, and now it's coming to an end. This isn't about protecting TPUSA or Trump or anybody. It's about protecting the truth. And it's about us not sitting there dancing to the Pied Piper's lie of what you've done. Like I said, I got to investigate her now. I got a bad feeling. I didn't have a bad feeling. God gave me a good brain. I already knew. I dropped the ball. I apologize. She's a globalist agent. I dropped the ball and I failed you, and I'm sorry. I got to follow my gut every time. It's never wrong. And I saw so much more she did. And I love her people threatening me and all their doxing of people and all that. You think that's going to make me go away? All you did was wake me up like a nuclear test site waking up Godzilla. So just get your asses ready. Because you want a war? I want your war. I want it all. I want the doxing. I want the lies. I want the attacks. I'm going to take you on. Because you work for the deep state and the Democratic Party and the CIA and MI6, and I see your ass. So you just get ready. This ain't my first rodeo. And I've got to focus. I focus so much on the big players. I don't focus on the little foxes that spoil the grapes. That's about it. Go look at this. So I go spend days burrowing into this stuff and find out it's all a lie. And I come out and say, Candace, I think you're being lied to. You're a wonderful person. You've been set up by Mitch Snow. No, she hadn't been set up by Mitch Snow. No. She knows every damn bit of it's a lie. And then because I have integrity and I don't sit here and make stuff up, I'm now the devil. Oh, Alex Jones is with Lockheed Martin to get me. Lockheed Martin? What do I know about that? All I know is I'm banned on everything but X and Rumble, and you're boosted on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube to everybody. I remember when I first started waking up to you about 4, 5, 6 months ago, where it was, Kennedy was getting confirmed. It was Saturday morning. I was going to do a 7-8 mile hike up these hills. I go meet this Navy SEAL and his buddy. We all got out of the car at 7 a.m., and we're already all listening to Candace Owens saying Kennedy is having sex with a Mossad agent, she thinks, and with no evidence. And there's this woman with a car he gave her, and he's in the Epstein files. And we listened to it while we hiked. We go, this is all bullshit. No, she moved on from that. But it was right when he was getting confirmed. Her and her minions. But Candace Owens continues to make claims about Egyptian planes and then about hit teams in Fort Huachuca and 12 colonels. And this guy wanders in, and they're planning the killing of Kirk. And this congressman's there, and Erica Kirk's there. And
oh, great. You late to the party.
There. And I spent good money getting the actual flight data, the professional data.
Republican rumor right now. He's deep state.
And I published it a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks, and say, hey, I'm worried here, Candace. Her surrogates, all with the same talking points within 5 hours, attacked me. I'm not dumb. Because Candace Owens is totally mentally ill and has a handler, or is a super evil globalist. That's it. And I'm done. I'm done playing games. I'm done with half measures. You guys have made your threats. Fill your hand. Let's go. Let's go. Because I'm not going to sit here and watch you engage in this type of insane crap. You don't know anything. When I immediately saw that kook ball and him saying, I walk into a room at a skiff, you don't get in those. They got armed guards and scanners and pass cards and all this. And he walks in with 12 colonels. They don't have 12 colonels for an assassination. It's all horse crap. All of it. And then as soon as they have their alibis, they're on C-SPAN. Oh, well, he was there later. No, he's there at 11 a.m. And your own cult followers don't respond to the facts. You just say, Jones is bullying a woman, and Jones is trying to ostracize her with psychological warfare. No, she puts out lies that I'm forced to go research, and I'm forced to go look at. And then when it's a lie, I nicely say, this is a lie, and just like... So, here's my bottom line. Candace Owens has endorsed a man with dozens of restraining orders, with fake names, admitting in court he bashes women's heads in. And she's his source. That at Fort Huachuca, you got all these TPUSA people with 12 colonels planning the murder of Charlie Kirk. And she tries to say she never said that. We got the compilations, dumbass. We got you saying it.
Sure do, and we going to play it tonight.
You're a bad person. And I can't believe I've got to spend my time on this type of crap. We'll deal with TPUSA and whatever happened and Cash Patel with the cover-up. That's all going on. But the perfect way to cover up what really went on is this type of stuff you do. This Fort Huachuca and all this other stuff. And you got the guy you say is not the shooter. They say it's a beautiful young man. He's up there with his trans flag tie on, smiling. Pull up Tyler Robinson, the only video we got. Laughing, smiling, look like it's the devil himself. Did he have help? Hell yeah. We know at least 10 trannies said in the 3 days before he'll be dead the day he comes there. We're not saying don't look at the investigation. What we're saying is your people have the same talking point. She's the only one investigating. Lies.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, Shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
It's Mia.
And I'm Enzo.
And we got a booming chat. Shout out to King. Shout out to Bad Pancake. Shout out to Patriot Watcher. Shout out to Heaven. Doc, thank you guys for supporting the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. We got a jam-packed night for you. Christmas night, we did a best of show. Y'all called me on the phone because the number was up. So if you want to call in, we will be opening up the phone lines at 8:45 if we have time, and again at 9:30. So make sure you guys lock in for that. Hit the like button. But this was Alex Jones. Great. You said you're shocked that he's deep state. Shout out to Patriot Watcher. He been giving us the tea tonight. What did he say? He was explaining to you about why he's deep state and taught you something new. You late to the party. Did you not know that, Gray?
I mean, to keep up with all the right-wing conspiracy theories would take, years and years and a lot of research. So, no, I didn't know that. What I know about Alex Jones is the Sandy Hook situation, and he was saying all this wild stuff, and that he got canceled. So, seeing him go at Candace, I feel like Candace kind of got canceled too. So, I'm kind of looking at this as like, okay, who's going to win in this? Like, or is there even is this even worth the fight? This whole right wing fiasco has been wild.
But do you love it?
No, I don't. I think that we need, better discourse and just regular information, because people get really involved in this. People get emotionally involved. People get upset. People believe both sides. So I just brought up Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook's a perfect example. Those parents were hurt, and then now Alex Jones lost his business. So both people in that situation completely fell apart. That's probably what's going to end up happening in this situation.
Well, let's just cut the Band-Aid off. He mentions that Candace backtracks a lot. I'm going to play that clip next and then get Enzo Mia in here.
His burial. How come we haven't seen anything about his burial? We saw so much and then we saw nothing. And the reason that's like a big hush-hush secret is because Charlie had a Catholic funeral mass and he is buried in a Catholic cemetery.
But pre the meeting with Erica, you repeatedly questioned why we weren't being told where Charlie Kirk is buried, or even if he has been buried yet. Did you get those answers?
You have the wrong commentator who questioned that. I think that was Milo Yiannopoulos.
You've never asked where Charlie's buried?
Nope.
But if this were on the left and somebody were accusing Charlie Kirk of his wife having murdered him, I assume that you would be talking about it.
Is that what Candace is accusing Erica of?
Yes.
Of murdering her own husband?
She's accusing TPUSA insiders and other members of the right wing, including Seth Dillon, of being involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk, yes.
It's just, I don't even know how to respond to it because it just never happened. Realizing that nothing in Charlie's life was real. It's just something that keeps me up at night. Just nothing in his life was real. The assassination of Charlie Kirk was something akin to a regicide, right? The assassination of a king to install a new ruler who the king would have never approved of. It's so crazy.
She has accused us of lying about Charlie wanting Erica to take over for him if he died.
Never happened. And it just so happened that Charlie Kirk kept notebooks and diaries. He was so diligent that he wrote down his succession plan featuring who he wanted to take over for the organization in the event of his untimely death. Like, he just, in the third notebook, he was like, oh, and if I accidentally get shot on campus, here's what you should do. Call Erica. And then after you call Erica, come find this notebook. And if during this process of our imagination, common sense comes on and we're like, but wait, Charlie, wasn't he like a boy genius? He's a pretty bright kid. Wouldn't he have maybe formalized that succession plan outside of like a diary? But no, he wanted to put it in these notebooks. And then the plan was to guilt us, I think, to try to haunt us with the ghost of Charlie's notebooks that we're never going to be allowed to read, but we're supposed to accept that they most definitely read. Like, for sure. Never happened. I knew it was big. I didn't have the players. I certainly didn't suspect Turning Point USA would be as I believe, involved in a cover-up. And we can talk about what the motives are of that. They could be financial motives. It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him. And I've never said that. Cam Higbee is on the payroll of Turning Point USA beginning in August of this year. So in theory, Cam Higbee, who was laughing off the idea of an assassination attempt, is being paid by the very organization that just had its leader assassinated in broad daylight in front of the entire world. It doesn't necessarily mean they were involved in plotting to kill him. And I've never said that. 'Cause I was in this aggrieved stage, and I really didn't poke my head up until weeks later when I could stop crying about it every second. Charlie Kirk, my friend, is dead. First, this is fantastic that Preborn is doing this. To remind you guys about Pure Talk. Also reminding you guys about American Financing. Also reminding you guys about GNO Land. Also telling you guys about Just Thrive. You can head over to our website, CandaceOwens.com. You can sign up, buy yourself a hat. I'm not going to stop unless Erica Kirk asks me to stop.
We were told that if we said stop, it would stop. And we said stop. And I'll say it again. Please stop.
Please stop. Please stop lying. But as soon as she tells me what it is I've lied about, I will cease lying immediately.
When does it stop, Enzo? When? Please stop. When does it? Okay, I'll say this. I am still questioning Charlie Kirk's death. Let me put that out there. But Candace, I'm sorry. You lost me. You fucking lost me with Mitch Snow.
I don't understand how people haven't put 2 and 2 together already that Candace is bullshitting through her teeth the entire time and now is backtracking when she forgets the internet is forever. These clips are out there. Literally, we just went through a fucking whole montage of this, of her backtracking on literally every little thing that she said. I just think it's hilarious that there are still people out there that take her at face value, that believe what she's saying, even with all of this that's come out. I just think Candace needs to honestly just shut up with the entire thing and just let it go. Let it go. You've lost the plot. There's nothing else you can say. And now her and Alex Jones are going at it. One crazy calling out the other crazy to drive entertainment because neither of them are credible at all. So this is just going to be fun watching this.
Oh, man. Mia, are you still a Candace fan? Do you think she's gone off the deep end? What do you think?
I think they're all supposed to be grieving and nobody will shut the fuck up, bro. I want them to be quiet so I can grieve, damn it. I got some crazy blonde lady in hot pants, grabbing on the president and vice president, dancing to pyrotechnics. I got some crazy lady who clearly is married and in love with the man that just died. We got Alex Jones. I've never seen anything like it. I want these people to stop so I can grieve. Because at this point in time, this is the craziest Three Stooges, Barnaby Brothers Ringling circus I've ever seen. This is TMZ and Zeus Network couldn't write this kind of dysfunction. I've never seen anything like it from anybody. I literally just want these people all to stop at this point in time. Everybody's supposed to be grieving. This man died 3 months ago, and I've done nothing but see memes of Erica Kirk in sequin hot pants, jumping jacks to pyrotechnics and swinging around. I literally want these people to relax. Who is raising anybody's kids? Alex has kids. Candace has kids. Allegedly, Erica Kirk has kids. Why aren't these people home and relaxing and enjoying some Christmas spirit with their families? I feel like they're haunting us. I want it all to stop. On dogs. I want it all to stop. It's ridiculous.
Well, we get the far left. Well, I don't want to say far left. The left in here. King Jay, welcome back to the new party. You came on a very fun night. So what do you think about this whole Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, CPUSA drama?
I mean, I never paid attention to any three of those individuals. I already knew Candace was crazy. We all knew Alex was crazy. We knew he was crazy when he tried to say that those school unalivenments didn't happen, and he got sued into oblivion. So I knew he wasn't credible. And, the Republicans' fault to the day-to-day where blew in the face that Candace was credible until she did something that they don't like, and now she's just crazy, like we've been saying. So
Well, black folks been saying she's not. This is my thing, and this is what I stand on. Because if you've been with us from the beginning of the channel, I made content attacking Candace, and I said she's not loyal to anyone. She's not even loyal to her own people. And I'm not just talking about black people. I'm talking about her family. None of her family was at her wedding. And Jamaicans, we love our, like Caribbean people, we love our family. So the fact that she had no one at her wedding, to me, blew my mind. And I said, she's not loyal. Why y'all think she's going to be loyal to you?
I 100% agree with that.
But that's not the only thing going on. This is Hotep Jesus. He basically feels like this is like a deep state thing. We'll watch conspiracy on it.
Conquer 101. At the very end of the day, is divide and conquer 101. So the goal is to destroy MAGA. So when Trump leaves office, there is no populist movement. The other thing is too, when you operate as the upper class, what you want is chaos, because out of chaos comes order, and chaos creates confusion. So now what you have is pure confusion on the timeline. People are like, oh, I should follow Candace. Oh, I should follow Megan. And Megan's right. And oh wait, no, Patrick Bet David. And oh, you're getting $7,000 and you're $7,000. So now it comes to the point where if you criticize the left a few years back, you are a Russian bot. If you criticize Candace, you got 7K from Israel, right? Even though you are critical of Israel. But the problem is they create this dichotomous mindset to dumb the people down. So you don't actually have to think about it. Make nuance great again. This is what Sonny talks about. We got to bring nuance into the conversation. Intellectual minds deal in nuance. The sheep don't deal in nuance, because nuance means you got to think about shit. And the more you think about this shit, the more headaches you get, because this whole thing is chaos and confusion. The problem is people want to pick sides. The only side you have to pick is the truth. So if when you pick the truth, you don't need to be taking sides with Candace or taking sides with Brandon Tatum or taking sides with TPUSA. You just see the world for as it is and understand that whether you're dealing with Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, or TPUSA, you're dealing with players that are under control. The other thing you have to understand is the 7K is going to the pro-Israel people and the anti-Israel people. Uh-oh.
Hotep. I wish all the black people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the white people were as smart as Hotep Jesus. And I wish all the Hispanics were as smart as Hotep Jesus. Because that guy, he really gets it. He knows how to boil it down.
You see what I'm saying? Adam Weishaupt said, when the people need a leader, we'll give them one. When was the last time y'all seen Alex Jones go viral? You haven't. Because they've replaced him. They've replaced Alex Jones and put him in Candace Owens' shadow.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
First, they tried to cancel Alex Jones. Then they canceled him again. Then they tried to take his studio. Then they tried to ruin his life. None of that worked. So what they do, they recommissioned Candace from pro-Israel and moved it to anti-Israel, aka conspiracy theory Twitter. And now the people follow Candace because Candace is more palatable. Candace is a black white girl. She's a black girl that talks white. You can care how you want to feel about that statement, but it is what it is, okay? So she's got three things that work for her. Number one, she's a woman. Number two, she's an attractive woman. Number three, she is a black woman on the right wing, challenging status quo, which makes her an anomaly. These are the things that bring allure. And people go, wow, she's so great, because they've never seen anything like it. Not realizing they put her there knowing all of this. The question you got to ask yourself is, who is she working for? Is she working for the Vatican, MI6, Mossad, or CIA? We don't know. So here I am, the centrist, saying, Candace is full of shit, right? And people go, you got 7K. I'm like, Israel full of shit too. This is the problem. There is no nuance. Here's the play. Israel's full of shit. Candace is full of shit. Brandon Tatum's full of shit. The Hodge twins is full of shit. All these motherfuckers are full of shit. The Congress is full of shit. They're all full of shit. So here you are following one of these people thinking you're right. Meanwhile, you just following a pack of shit because you're married to idols. You're not married to the truth. If you was married to the truth, you'd be in Hotepistan with us. The problem is people don't even know where to find the truth because the people.
Okay, Mr. Gray. What do you think about what he said? Is there truth to what he's saying? Is she being paid for? MI6, it was connected with the British. She's married to British royalty. What do you think?
I won't delve into the conspiracies because, I can't fact check that and, we'll be here all day. I will agree with him that Candace Owens was a frontier of Republican, being a black Republican and being able to talk about conservative politics. I don't think I would have ever gotten this if Candace would have done it first. Been way more risky. But as far as what he's saying is that it's being orchestrated to break MAGA apart. I think MAGA was already completely involved with conspiracy theories and already had people that they listen to. And I feel like with politics in general, people think that everybody's supposed to think the same just because they're on a certain side. That's not going to happen. People are going to think differently. And if you play with fire, you're going to get burned. So they play with conspiracy theories. Now conspiracy theories are harming.
Well, I have something y'all can think is fact or conspiracy. This is what Ryan Matta says about the attacks on Candace being coordinated.
I want to explain how the pay-to-play game works here in the influencer world, especially in the digital age. And they have these things which are called clipping sites. So a clipping site will basically, and I'm going to give you the rundown because I kind of made a slide to actually break it down. But these sites out there, some are anybody can join, and then some are invite only. So this is how the PACs use, and they basically hide behind these sites, and they use these sites to directly pay influencers to do work on behalf of a political opponent without actually having to report it. So this is how they're like adding that middleman in the barrier, and why it's so hard to determine who's paying who and how they're getting paid. So let me explain this to you. This little slide, right? So let's just say they have a bounty, and let's just say I want to put out I want to put a $50,000 bounty out, and I'm willing to pay $10 per 100,000 views. Now you don't have to get 100,000 views to earn $10. You could get 10,000 views and you could earn $1, right? Because all the accounts are different, and you want as many accounts as humanly possible, basically competing to earn their share of the 50,000. So along with the bounty, this is the actual job itself, will have requirements. So the requirements for this specific job that I just made up would be a 39 to 90 second video attacking Candace Owens. The keywords that you need to put in the actual title of the post: Candace Owens lied about Erica Kirk. Now I could go on and say Candace Owens is crazy and she lied about Erica Kirk. I don't have to put keyword word for word, but those specific keywords have to be used for my tweet to actually be eligible to earn a percentage of this bounty, right? And then the platforms that I need to post it on can be X, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Now, if I post the same video and I post it on X and IG, I'm gonna get 2 links, right? So each one of those videos is gonna be earning its portion. It's not combined. It'll be on each. So if you post to IG, TikTok, YouTube, and on each platform you get 1 million views, or let's just say each platform you get 100,000 views, then you'd earn $40, $10 per 100,000 views, okay? And then, so what does that get? Like, why are people incentivized to do that? So let me just break this down. If you put a $50,000 bounty and you're paying $10, right, per 100,000 views, you could 10 divided by 50,000 is 5,000. 5,000 times 100,000 gives you 500 million views total. Now, if nobody earns that bounty will stay open. So sometimes you'll see like a job, it'll say bounty slash, 25,000 remaining or 4,000 remaining or whatever the amount of remaining money is. And the job, I didn't put the date up there, but let's just say that was posted a month ago. That might be an old job, but something might start trending or going viral. Like Candace might put out a new video and you go back in there like, oh shit, nobody's actually competing for that. Oh, I'm going to, take a stab at it and I'm going to try to earn my percentage of that bounty. And so what it looks like is basically you have your bounty, which is the job, attack Candace Owens. You submit your link here. And then once you submit your link there, it'll attach it to basically like your profile, and you'll have like a scrolling percentage counter. So it might be like every, like the minimum might be 1,000 views. So every 1,000 views you earn.
King, do you believe this? Are people on the left doing this too? Or is this only a right thing?
I'm not gonna be naive and say that it's only a left or right thing. I believe it's probably happening on both sides. I'm not naive. I mean, I believe stuff like that is happening. That's absolutely possible.
What about you, Enzo? You believe it's really happening?
Hell yeah, this happening on the left and right. Come on, I could just pull up a Harry Sisson video. Every fucking video we talked about Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Like, come on, they do that for everything. So it's plausible with the Candace shit. What? But I'm saying, like, he's the example that I use. I could probably pull up 20 influencers on the left. 9 out of their 10 videos, they're gonna talk shit about Donald Trump. That's probably how they're getting paid since the whole Act Blue and all the other Democracy Defense Action, since they all got outed for paying influencers. So maybe that's another way.
Well, I mean, the last thing they did this on was Islam. Now I don't see nobody talking about Islam. They also
True.
now they're doing it on Somalia.
True.
Next week, who knows what it'll be. So, Mia, what you think? You think people are like being told to like make a bunch of posts about the same topic, or you think that this is just like propaganda lies to defend Candace?
Oh no, I guarantee you this is true. I mean, I literally just got an electricity bill for $261. Everybody needs money. Bills be piling up. Everybody needs to pay shit. Of course people are doing it, and I don't blame them. In this day and age, someone is gonna do it. And at this point in time, you gotta take care of your family and you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, am I doing it? No. Should we all be doing it? Clearly, $50,000 is a lot of money, girl. We need to begin on these clipping sites and getting
Where
us
are
some
they?
money too.
I can find it. I went on Chat GPT, and you know what came up? TikTok. So I'm like, where's these sites at? If y'all got the sites, please put it in the chat.
But it wouldn't surprise me because this year TikTok, when after the first time it shut down and it came back and then it shut down again and then came back, they have essentially stopped paying most of these like top content creators that used to make $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 a month. Nobody's making any money now, but they're all talking
Right.
about the same thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if they were all on these type of websites, all trying to get profit back from what they used to have through TikTok streaming.
Yeah. Last night, Candace Owens hosted a live. This was what went trending and went viral. Let me play the clip. This is her backtracking on something that she was caught on.
Which in effect you are, right? You're in effect saying, okay, Erica Kirk and the head of TPUSA security were at this pre-assassination planning meeting.
Erica was there, so you guys have to stop repeating that. It's Erica was never at that meeting, and that's another thing. I've never said Erica was at the meeting. Mitch has never said Erica was at that meeting. There was never an indication she was at that meeting. He did not see her on September 9th. It was Brian Harpole who was at that meeting.
If you want me to say there's a picture of Erica Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning. So
you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erica Kirk. What percentage would you put that at?
those are really rare eyes. That's 95 to 99%. I
accusation, which in effect you are, right? You're in effect saying, okay, Erica Kirk and the head of TPUSA security were at this pre-assassination planning meeting.
Erica was there, so you guys have to stop repeating that. It's Erica was never at that meeting, and that's another thing. I've never said Erica was at the meeting. Mitch has never said Erica was at that meeting. There was never an indication she was at that meeting. He did not see her on September 9th. It was Brian Harpole who was at that meeting.
if you want me to say there's a picture of Erica Kirk with a ponytail, and from her past. That person matches who I saw at Fort Huachuca in the lobby the night before, and she was with that man in the lobby, and that man, he was present at that meeting the next morning. So
you had to put it at a percentage that you saw that the girl in the ponytail matches the description of Erica Kirk. What percentage would you put that at?
those are really rare eyes.
Enzo, why do we keep catching her in lies? Like, she all night, I watched her live last night, and she was like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Then she was like, no, they need to give me their whereabouts. I'm like, girl, they don't owe you anything. They don't owe you a thing.
This is what I've been thinking about since the first clip of her getting called out on Piers Morgan and all the other ones, right? I don't know when these clips are from because I don't keep up with Candace like that, but obviously the one from last night, it's kind of funny after she has the conversation with Erica that she's changing her tune now. If some of those clips are that they called her out for saying something. It's kind of funny that now after she sits down, she's changing her whole tune and saying, I never said that. I never said that. After she probably, I'm going to assume at this point, Erica clarified things or said this or that, or said, you keep saying this is going to happen, defamation, whatever the hell it is. I don't know, maybe something like that, or that she has no new material and she got proven wrong on the sources that she had before from other ways. So who really knows? Candace is a kook who wants money, and she's been doing I'm going to give you the names next week if you tune into my show for 3 months now. So
I agree. Kamal, welcome. I'm going to let you get in here since we're running out of time on the topic. What's your thoughts on the whole Erica Kirk, Candace Owens, Alex Jones saga?
Good. Let them motherfuckers fight. I love it. Alex Jones and Candace Owens beefing it out. Okay. I've been saying Candace Owens a grifter. I'm going to keep saying it. She grifting like Nicki Minaj. All of them grifting. Get your grift on, though. I hope them goddamn shillings is worth it. God damn. That's all I really got to say. Swing to the point. I'm glad they fighting. You feel me? Alex Jones versus Candace Owens. Let's get a Royal Rumble. Put in Ben Shapiro and Nick Fuentes. Fuck it.
Well, we're going to switch gears here, guys. By popular demand, everybody says they wanted to call in, so we're going to open up the phone lines. But we're going to talk about the new year before our interview. If you're watching, please hit the like button. We appreciate your support. So yeah, guys, we're going to talk about New Year's resolutions. This is a montage of the year. It's been a very eventful year. Here we go.
Three Israeli hostages have come home after over 470 days in captivity.
I got like 9 million more than anybody else had ever gotten. And they said we lost. And because of that, I said to Melania, what do you think? And she said, you want to do this again?
An Army Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines passenger jet collided about 9 o'clock this evening.
The Vatican says that at 7:35 this morning, Pope Francis died.
Standing on the banks of the Guadalupe River, the site of some of the worst damage to come from the floods that ripped through this area on July 4th.
This is Panom Dongrak Hospital in Thailand's Surin province. It was hit yesterday by Cambodian artillery shelling.
Whoa, I never saw that.
So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, turn the volume up.
What a year. Gray, this is year 2 of our channel. What is your New Year's resolutions for yourself, personally, the world? What's your thoughts?
Stay positive, stay focused, get money.
Animals. Love the animals.
Yeah, of course. Love the animals, of course. I'm actually not a big animal person. I just know I like watching Animal Planet, but I've had pets. But growing up, I wasn't allowed to have pets. My mom didn't like animals.
Gray, I'm not gonna let you get away with that, bro. All them animal analogies you gave us, and now you're not an animal fan.
That's what I'm saying.
Animal Planet. I watch Animal Planet and like I like to study it. I find it like interesting. You know.
Nia, you're the next longest on the team. What is your 2026 resolutions for yourself, the world, the US, whatever you like?
So it's gonna be a new year, same bitch. I will still have the smoke for everybody, maybe even more smoke at this point in time. I no longer work night shift, which means I am sleeping all night and I have more energy during the day. So everybody better be prepared because I'm gonna have all of the smoke for everybody, regardless of what side of the aisle you are on. Everybody's getting called out next year. I do not care, regardless. And other than that, I'm hoping to get a PC set up for my desktop. Hoping to get a PC set up like Enzo so I can take it to the next level.
Start a GoFundMe.
I need Enzo to do it because he had a little good successful crowdfunding thing.
All I did was just say, hey, a couple times on live, I have a GoFundMe if anybody wants to donate to it. You don't have to, but this is to get a new PC. Just to shut everybody up that was telling me to do it for the longest time. I did it. We succeeded. I appreciate you guys for being in my ear about it.
Yeah. Well, Enzo, what's your resolutions? Is it anything for the country, for yourself, personally?
My New Year's resolution would be to keep up the pressure, keep doing what I'm doing, get more vocal, get more active in my community, within right-wing politics, get people out there to vote. That's what we need to be doing on the right, is getting people out there in the special elections, midterms, and not just leaving it up to presidential elections. That's my goal this year, is to keep growing my channel the way that I'm doing on TikTok and get more vocal in the Republican space to get people out there to actually pay attention to all of these things going on.
Facts. I agree. Kamal, any resolutions? I didn't even hear it. That was weird. Oh, sorry, Kamal.
No, it's all good.
He had a new party shirt on.
Yeah, y'all see the shit?
Yay!
I ain't gonna lie, I feel like I'm in 2005, man. This shit a large. This shit feeling like the remember tall ass tees people used to wear in 05, 06? Yeah, that's how this shit fitting, but it feel good, y'all. Resolutions, keep fighting for my foundational Black Americans. I need to start having more guests on my show. I like actually having guests on there. I need y'all back on there. You feel me? Everybody on the panel. Sure. I need y'all to come onto the show too. You feel me? I need to start going on other panels too when I be on these TikToks, because I be in the audience most of the time. I need to go up there and start like really talking though, because some people be dumb as hell. You feel me?
You are welcome all day to roast my chat.
Oh, for
anytime.
Come up and roast the chat. Hey, should I tone it down on roasting the chat though? Should I let him live a little bit next year? What y'all think? No.
All the smoke.
Okay. Yeah, y'all hear that, chat? First, I'm gonna start out with David. You said that's ghetto logic. That sounded racist, motherfucker. I saw you in the chat as soon as I started talking. That's ghetto logic. Shut your jabroni ass up. Anyway, we gotta go to some left-leaning events for the new party. That's another resolution. You feel me? Because we've been to plenty of right-leaning events. Gotta go to a couple left because the point of the new party is to bring all thoughts and shit together. I'm not a Democrat nor a Republican. I'm a Black American policy that's gonna help us out. That's who I'm for. But I noticed that it's a lot more right-leaning events. Hopefully in 2026 we could go to a couple so Gray don't feel left out. You feel me?
Well, I feel like
What you
I
about
was
to say?
gonna say I feel like leftists, like the Liberal Party, are so broke they don't have like big parties. Like TPUSA, like had this like massive bash. I mean, do they have any? Do they do anything? Because they seem brokey. The DNC is very broke. So I mean, what do they actually have going on?
They got the
I mean, they're
cardboard
like
signs that
filing
say-
bankruptcy.
They got the cardboard signs. That's what they got.
We talking to some new people. We got some things in the works.
We have things in the works. King, what are the left events? Are there any besides Unf America?
We got some. I would say I'm not tracking anything nationally, but I got some things coming up soon for myself, that I am planning on.
Maybe you could invite Gray to go up there.
They King, they left leaning though.
Yeah, I've been talking to Skeptic and talking to Casso. We're trying to get some things in the woodwork, so stay tuned for that. So far as like locally in my area.
Okay, for sure. For sure.
King, what's your resolutions for yourself, the country, the world?
We stepping on the gas this year. 2026, we stepping on the gas. I'm keeping my foot on these motherfuckers' necks. Not gonna let up. Not gonna let up at all. The pressure wasn't there. You know, I got busy with school and everything. Yeah, black educated young man getting ready to get into his master's this summer. But I definitely got time to step on some motherfucking necks all the way through 2026. And I'm with my boy Gray. It's all about the money too. So we're gonna get this money too.
Oh, hold on. Since y'all talk about the money, I do have to say this. Cash reparations, motherfuckers, and the anti-black hate crime bill. I'm still fighting for that. I've been fighting for that for shit. I done lost count how many years I've been fighting for that. But I will say that every goddamn year. That will always be my resolution. Always.
Oh man. I'm gonna be saying for another 50 years.
I mean, they got the money. I mean, they got the money. I did the math when it came to the Somali fraud. I mean, all FBAs could have cost $600 out of that Somali fraud. I mean, they clearly got the money. They just don't want to pay nobody.
I'm just saying though. They said we wasn't gonna get out of slavery. Well, look at us now. You feel me? They said we wasn't gonna get civil rights. You feel me? Even though that helped out fucking everybody.
Hold
anyway.
Hold on. Getting a call. 1 second. Hello. Hello. Okay, 1 second, RJ. Let me share you on the screen. Yes. Can you guys hear RJ? 1 second. Let me put something on the screen to cover it up. Speak again, RJ.
Hello.
Okay, we
can hear you.
Can you hear us?
He's not going to be able to hear you, but go ahead, RJ. What is your resolution? Thank you for calling in.
Two things from my New Year's resolutions is one is to finish school. You know, I'm in my 5th year of university, so I'm gonna finish that, then move on to work on my master's and in history. And then the second is simply get closer to God, you know. That's another thing. That's all I want.
Oh, that's a nice resolution, and we appreciate all your support, RJ. Congratulations, another educated young Black Canadian man, because RJs are in Canada. So you and King will have lots of celebrations, hopefully in 2026 when you guys get those degrees. So yes, and KK is right. Big W getting closer to God. Anybody have anything they want to say to RJ?
Happy New Year's, RJ.
Yes, Happy New Year's.
Keep your foot on their motherfucking necks. Don't let up.
Oh my God.
I appreciate you, my Canadian brother, man. You feel me? Send my regards
Can you
to
guys
Drake,
hear me?
brother.
Yes. They said Happy New Year. They said keep your foot on their necks, and they appreciate you. But thank you for calling in, RJ, and stay watching us in 2026.
You're welcome, you guys. Happy New Year. Take care.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, if anybody else wants to call in, we'll open up the phone lines at the end of the night. But we're going to switch gears here because our guest is here, and we're just not going to waste any time. So, guys, I was very lucky to meet this young man, and he opened my eyes up to something very tragic that's about to happen in Florida, the environmental scandal that they're trying to bury. So, without further ado, let's welcome Carlos Camacho. Where's the sounds, Kamal? Got to pull up the sounds to the show.
Oh, which one y'all want? The air horns? Y'all
Yeah,
want
the air horns. The air horns, yes.
Good evening, everyone.
What's good,
Good
bro?
evening.
How you doing?
So Carlos, we're very excited to have you. We at the New Party, we believe in putting stories out there that many people don't know that affect all Americans, not left, not right. So I'm so grateful to have met you through this. Before we get into into you talking and us asking you questions, I'm going to familiarize you guys with the case back, I think it was the 90s, very similar to what's about to go down. Erin Brockovich.
In the movie Erin Brockovich, Julia Roberts played the tough and relentless paralegal who brought PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, to its knees. One memorable scene, Brockovich fighting PG&E lawyers to compensate her clients, the residents of Hinckley, California.
I want you to think real hard about what your spine is worth, Mr. Walker. Or what you might expect someone to pay you for your uterus, Miss Sanchez. Then you take out your calculator and you multiply that number by 100. Anything less than that is a waste of our time.
PG&E eventually wrote checks totaling $333 million to more than 600 residents.
So they come to you and they say $333 million, and you were like,
holy shit. I mean, you know, I mean, it's pretty cool. I was excited for these people.
13 years later, the excitement is now replaced with fear. Recent evidence indicates the same underground chemical plume that caused so much illness and heartbreak here is growing.
And I'm thinking somebody somewhere has been asleep at the wheel.
after an enormous settlement and the worldwide attention that came with a Hollywood film, people who live here thought their problems would have ended a long time ago. But it turns out those toxic chemicals have been spreading over time.
That's a finding by the State Water Control Board. Brockovich puts the blame squarely on PG&E.
This is a company that has great technology. They certainly have the money. You can't control this plume here in Hinckley. After everything that's happened, it makes no sense to me.
The plume is 2 miles long and nearly a mile wide. It's made up of hexavalent chromium, a chemical once used by PG&E in the 50s and 60s to prevent rust in the machinery at a nearby plant. It's the same chemical that seeped into the groundwater here and can cause life-threatening illnesses. Roberta Walker received an undisclosed amount of money in the settlement for illnesses she blames on the contamination.
I've had several stomach surgeries. I've had a hysterectomy. I've had several lumps removed from my breast, and I've got asthma now.
So when Walker learned the hex chromium is now moving towards the very home she moved to get away from the danger, she naturally thought,
oh my God, it's like being struck by lightning twice. You know, it's like, how can this possibly be happening to me again? It's like a cancer.
PG&E says great strides have been made in cleaning up the contamination. So how could this happen after everything the community endured? A top company official agreed to meet with us at its San Francisco headquarters.
These people, they're concerned about their water. They're concerned about their way of life. Are those concerns justified?
The approach that we're taking with the residents in Hinckley is we're committed
to working with those individuals that live in Hinckley, either directly over the plume or in the adjacent vicinity to the plume.
The utility denies it's been asleep at the wheel and says it's difficult to contain the chemical, but also says it has a comprehensive plan to do so, including pumping in more than 100,000 gallons of fresh water each day into the underground plume to block the contaminants from advancing. It says the water quality on or near the plume meets safety guidelines set by the state of California. But with growing unrest, not to mention bad PR, the utility, as of last week, took the momentous step of offering to buy all the properties of those affected. We're told it could be as many as 100 homes.
So, Carlos, when we first talked about this, you kept saying this is like Aaron Brockovich. Can you briefly tell us why you see that comparison and how you found out about what's happening, and just give a high overview of what we're talking about with the ship?
Yeah, so to be completely transparent and blunt, I've never been an environmentalist or anything from the start. Never really dipped into it. I only started learning about this as we uncovered more reasons why the ship shouldn't be sunk. They started out as a preservation effort to save the ship because she's nationally historic. However, as we were dipping into her 1952 paint schedules and all the different documents that were pertaining to the long history of the ship, we found that there was a substance in there called zinc chromate that was coated over the ship. The zinc chromate itself is a well-known product used through the 30s to the 50s by the Navy and other marine engineers to coat vessels internally and externally to go against corrosion, particularly with salt water. Now, and that being said, this particular vessel was over heavily used with zinc chromate because the designer wanted to preserve the vessel so well, which is why it's been preserved for 75 years. And that being said, we ended up coming across testing samples and found out that within the testing samples themselves, there was a high volume done by York Analytic. And we have those documents where the volume was measured in parts per billion. Typically, they measure parts per million in this product. If to give you reference, the EPA threshold is only 50 parts per million that's allowed. The WHO is only 100 parts per million. To give you reference with the hexavalent chromium itself, the measurement that came back in this as a solid state was 4,500,000 parts per billion. That is like an atomic bomb within this. It's 5 to 6 orders higher magnitude than the EPA and WHO standards, and it's something that they're willingly and actively going to be putting into the Gulf National Seafood Supply. What they're trying to do is sink the ship for an artificial reef. They're trying to promote diving and tourism. As many people might know, your skin is your largest organ. You'll uptake this in your skin. Anybody diving on it, it'll go into the fish population. It gets into the reproductive organs, everything else. You're just hearing the young lady talking in the Aaron Brockovich video about how she had to go through all these different surgeries and everything else. This stuff is deadly. It is the deadliest carcinogen in man. When this gets into the reproductive systems, into your body, cancers, all kinds of different things come from this. It is some wicked, wicked stuff. And in the case of PSG, they had this in a liquid form where they were flushing it through the pipes. And what they were doing was they were discharging it into the soil in order to, coat the inside of the pipes that they were coating. They did this for decades. Nobody knew about it. What happened was it went into the well water, because the whole area in Hinckley was well water. People were eating it, drinking it, showering in it, the works. They moved the people 6 miles plus out. A lot of people thought it was a well story that was, happy ending at the end of the day. Aaron Brockovich actually went recently, I believe it was 2023, don't quote me exactly on it. She went back to the site, and, nearly 30 years later, this hexavalent chromium has moved its way through the water column 6+ miles out and reaffected the population. So this is highly mobile in the water. And now when you talk about going from a contained environment in a situation like Hinckley to now the open Gulf currents, which are warm currents, you're talking about a leaching situation. This stuff put in there is going to be a leaching situation that is literally going to spread. And what's important about this is a 990-foot vessel. That's not dangerous above the water, but only if they directly put it into the salt water because it will break it down. Within this being said, there's over 300 million square feet of space internally and externally. These coatings are in internal and external compartments. If you go and Google the ship SS United States, you will see this yellow paint everywhere in pictures. There's thousands of pictures documented over the years. That is zinc chromate. That's what has the hexavalent chromium in it. This county does no plan to remediate it at all. We've gone to the public record to approach them in public county meetings constantly, time and time again in Okaloosa County. They have dismissed it. They've ignored our warnings. They've said they'll table it for a further discussion, haven't done anything about it. And at the end of the day, they're saying, oh, the vessel's clean. And then we just got the recent one with the National Resource Manager who's in control of this project. He just went on just the other day and he said, zinc chromate is not a federally regulated material that requires removal. Well, that's a lie.
Let me show them what the ship looks like, Carlos, because I think everyone's very visual. This is a news story about it.
The United States is sitting in Mobile Bay. You've got crews working to make it environmentally safe before the ship becomes a reef off the coast of Florida.
Yeah, but not everyone is happy with the plans to sink the ship. Some are calling it a needless destruction.
Our Claudia Nichols has been following this story. Claudia, legal action is being taken to preserve the ship.
Yeah, that's right, Lenise and Cameron. A nonprofit called the New York Coalition to Save the SS United States filed a petition to say no to reefing and return the ship to her birthplace in New York. Along with filing a federal complaint, they also sent a letter to the President of the United States urging him to take executive action and allow the U.S. to purchase the ship for public use. While some are on board with the SS United States becoming an artificial reef, others are desperately trying to keep her afloat. The petition created by the New York Coalition to Save the Ship has received over 7,000 signatures. The coalition argues sinking the ship not only destroys historical artifacts, but claims the SS United States is protected under the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966. They also raise concerns over possible underwater corrosion to the ship that could create hazards for divers and the presence of PCBs that could be detrimental to Florida's coast. In 2011, the SS United States Conservancy purchased the ship with a similar goal as the coalition to preserve the historic vessel.
Ever since that point, we looked to permanently develop the ship, to move it to a pier where she could be permanently redeveloped. We had all kinds of proposals over the years, but had not been able to get anything completely launched.
Warren Jones is on the board of directors for the SS United States Conservancy and says they face some roadblocks trying to keep her afloat.
Our pier operator in Philadelphia, Penn Warehousing, wanted us to leave the pier, and they doubled the rent. And they moved to evict us from the pier.
Jones says a lawsuit was filed in the U.S. District Court in Philadelphia where the judge required the ship to leave the pier within 90 days.
We were simply up against a court-enforced deadline and had to be off the pier in 90 days, and we were not able to do so. So we were stuck with the choice of, do we scrap this great ship or do we reef her? Not choices that we ever wanted to have, but we thought the dignified approach was to reef the ship.
Jones says that's when Okaloosa County came forward and purchased the ship for $1 million.
We fought the good fight, and I think the folks at Okaloosa understand, again, the passion that we have for this ship and wanting to continue her legacy, which we will do in a museum that's being planned.
Jones says the Conservancy.
Okay, Gray. This is our co-founder, Gray Mars. Gray, what's your question?
Hey, Carlos. So if the SS United States is sunk despite the laws, data, and alternatives you've laid out in your master advocacy document, what precedent does that set for historic preservation and environmental law in America, and who should the public hold accountable?
So I'm sorry, I missed the tail end of that question. You kind of cut out there.
What precedent does that set for historic preservation and environmental law in America, and who should the public hold accountable?
Okay, I got it. Okay, so that's a good question. The bottom line is this: is if the ship is sunk, it's going to have a great impact overall to a lot of different things. I think to answer the precedent part, it'll basically, if you look at our nation, we have a lot of historic vessels. You know, you can go to Olympia in Philadelphia, the Battleship New Jersey. You can go down a list of different historical monuments, you name it, that are all on the register, whether they're ships, whether they're statues, whatever. If you set a precedent that a vessel that is on the National Register is not protected, even though the statutes call for it, and you go and you sink it, you destroy it, you tear it down like you saw the last few years, I mean, you are setting a dangerous precedent going forward where history means nothing. And at the end of the day, you know, whatever party, whatever person can come in, private, public, government, and say, be gone with it. You know, we're going to utilize it for what we're doing. And like in this case, they're using it to promote their own self-interest to generate dollars. It's a very dangerous precedent and one we can't set. And it's something that has to be upheld. You know, laws are made for a reason. And at Shore, at this point, you know, if we're not doing our due diligence in order to make sure that we're following those statutes and we're honoring our heritage, what are we really building for America 250 is what we have to ask ourselves. Because this is something that's happening during America 250. I mean, this I didn't get too much into it, but this ship is historically important. I mean, there's so much history in this ship, culture-wise, I mean, heritage-wise, record-wise. I mean, the list goes on and on. It is a fantastic ship. It is the greatest ship ever built by World War II veterans and American shipbuilders in our history of our nation. This ship literally is if you look at President Donald Trump's maritime dominance executive order, for example, it talks about maritime greatness. I mean, this ship is the embodiment of it. This ship has been around for over 75 years now and is still solid and strong. I was on her back in Philadelphia. I mean, she is solid. This is what American ingenuity and greatness looks like. And when you go and you try to take a vessel like this, that was literally blood and steel from our veterans that built it and forged it, and you sink it during our America 250. I mean, what are you really setting as an example to the nation and to the rest of the world and to the next generation of children, you know, about our heritage? What does that say? You know, so.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to allow Enzo to ask the next question.
Cool. Thank you for coming, first off, Carlos. I'm somebody who actually did sign the petition a while back for the ship. I live in New Jersey. I've seen it plenty of times going to Philadelphia. It's pretty much just a monument at this point, seeing it sit in the Delaware Bay. My question would be, let's say we did get it saved. What would the steps be forward? What would we turn it into? Some type of museum ship? And what could we do to keep that going?
So the answer is real simple, actually. And number one, hey neighbor, how you doing? And thank you for signing the petition. Right now, as you heard on the news clipping before, they were talking about the New York Coalition, which is our sister partner company organization. We're both trying to save the ship. We're working together. Through their efforts, they were able to secure the New York City Council, who recently just passed a resolution 649A, which is calling on Congress and the president to save the ship. That passed unanimously. I mean, the city of New York totally supports it. This was her original port of register. However, that resolution can't stand on its own because you need funding partners, you need private-public partnership, you need a legal pathway in order to secure the ship and pay for the ship's future. That would come in the aspect of actually two documents of legislation that I have recently authored and drawn up as draft proposals for the president and for Congress. One of them is the America 250 Maritime Heritage Act. That one is a veteran initiative for reintegration programs for our veterans, because I want to stress something here. The ship is not dangerous above the water. It can be treated. You treat these things. You can't do that under the water. So if it's treated above the water, you could repurpose it for whatever program you want, and it gets treated all the time. So in that aspect, we wanted to do American trade schools. We want to do veteran reintegration programs, STEM schools. We wanted to do, job training and job placement, everything, veteran wise, because ultimately right now our veterans are getting the shaft. And that's something that's actually near and dear for me, because I serve as New Jersey ambassador for Veterans for America First as one of my other roles. And so veterans are very important to me. And I'd rather see the ship be repurposed for veterans and our youth going forward and as a national monument, which is what that act calls for, than to be sunk for selfies under the water while polluting the Gulf. The other flip side of that is I wrote a executive order proposal for the President Donald J. Trump, and it's called the Great American Comeback. That essentially lays out the legal pathway and the funding options in order to acquire the ship and then ultimately fund it going forward through MARAD, which is the Maritime Administration, and other federal government ownership if the ship were to take it back as a monument. Now, the way that would work is basically the government would come in, they would use an amendment that is a legal pathway. They would obtain the ship through a taking clause, and then what they would do is they would give the county just compensation. So that's how they acquire the ship. And now the flip side of that is there's 8 SL7 fast sea lift ships that MARAD currently owns and are actually going to be disposing of. So essentially think about it as a ransom situation where the government can say, hey, here's an SL7 to meet your artificial reef goals. We want our first lady back, and we're gonna make her a monument, and we're gonna do these programs for our veterans, et cetera, et cetera. It's a win-win for everybody. They're not exploring that option. And the best part is it nearly costs nothing for anybody. I mean, if you look at the money that's going across overseas and all these other different programs stuff, why can't we do something for our veterans? Let's just be honest. It's like it's a drop in the bucket. You talk about $300 million roughly for the government, and through private-public partnerships. I mean, that's what America 250 is about. That's what preservation is about. That's what we should be doing, not for 1%, literally 1% that dives of the population. So,
Kamal, did you think of a question?
I ain't gonna lie, this shit sounded like Chinese to me. I kind of get it, but the ship terms and stuff like that, man. If it help out the veterans, man, I'm all for it. I do have a question. Was that area on the East Coast, the PG&E, the story over there? Is that what the?
That was so it's actually interesting. There's a couple different situations you got to deal with. That situation was Hinckley, California. So that was out west. There's also, if you heard about the Flint, Michigan situation, which was devastating, that's another thing that was lead based. That is another devastating issue where, the public health safety was at risk. You could take that, you could take BP, which was in the Gulf of Mexico at the time. I mean, this has been time and time again where regulatory agencies don't act and they're not following the total protocols. People who are permitting to do certain things aren't following the regulations. And so, I mean, you're talking, this kind of stuff happens everywhere. West Coast, East Coast, North, South. I mean, it's happening common all the time, and it needs to be addressed.
Yeah, because the PG&E thing, I thought, because I was getting confused, because the ship is over on the East Coast, right?
So it was originally in Philadelphia as of a few months ago. As of March, she arrived in Mobile, Alabama, is where she currently is actively being taken apart in order to be sunk. They've already removed her funnels and everything else, and they're getting ready to deploy as early as February, they're saying, which is putting us up against a wall. Yeah, so this is a serious thing. And I just want to say one quick thing on this is that, for anybody, whether you're left, right, red, blue, this is a bipartisan issue first and foremost. But what I want to say is the fallout from this, if this happens, is going to 100% target the Republican Party and any MAGA, Maha, America First agenda. Because when you think about it, if our Gulf seafood gets contaminated, guess what? We're going to China. We're going overseas to other different countries to get food to come in. So there goes America First out the window. Make America healthy again. Guess what? Now all of a sudden you have all this chronic sickness going around, and literally every American across at the dinner tables. Well, there goes Maha, MAGA. Guess what? The president, the movement, the Republican Party. Look what they did. Don't touch them in the polls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, this is a silent attack, and people need to wake up. This and this is coming from a red county, by the way. Waukegan County, Florida, is a red county.
Very red, extremely red.
So think about the media perspective that this is going to have. And what the Democrats will use. I try not to make it a partisan issue, but this is ultimately going to affect everyone on a bipartisan level.
Okay, I do have one more question, and then this shit ain't turning to Chinese, it's turning to English now. So you're saying that if this ship is sunken, the story that we saw with the PG&E stuff in Northern California, because I know about PG&E, that's why I was confused a little bit. That would happen if the ship is sunken. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Because essentially what it is the zinc chromate I spoke about. Mm-hmm. There's literally 53,000 tons of this on there. It equivalates to almost like 9,000 gallons of paint. This stuff is chemically bonded into the steel. So this stuff is going to go in the water. It's not going to be taken off. You can't superficially take it off the surface like they're claiming they're doing. You have to literally abrasively get this off, chemically burn it off. I mean, there's a lot of different processes to remove this stuff. They're not doing it. They're operating under a small budget. To give you a reference, they used $10.1 million of tax tourism dollars in order to fund this, by the way, to destroy National Register property. Yeah. That's bed tax that they're using to destroy national reserve property and pollute the Gulf. Only 7.228 million of that is actually going to deployment, towing, and remediation. That's nowhere near sufficient. Have you guys ever heard of the USS Oriskany, for example, the Great Barrier Reef in the Gulf?
No, somebody was talking about it. And
So that was, to make it short, that was a Navy project back in 2003, 2006. It was a 4-year project. It turned out to be, and they had started out roughly around $8 to $10 million for the budgeted project. And again, this is from the Navy. EPA came in, Florida Fish and Wildlife came in. They said, no, you can't do this. You got to get rid of these chromates on here. You got to get rid of this, PCBs. By the time they were done, it was a $22 million project, and 4 years later. This county's trying to do this in 1 year of getting the vessel with half that budget. So you tell me who's cutting corners. So, and this vessel has twice the amount of the zinc chromate on there.
Carlos, is there anything that we can do as constituents to help you in your cause?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. First and foremost, we do have an active case in the courts. We're trying to go. We are a grassroots root movement. We assembled because of this. So if anybody would like to help donate, sign a petition, you can go to www.ssuspreservationfoundation.com. You can sign our petition. You can sign our donate if to help with our.
Wait! You said it too fast. Can you write it in the chat and I'll put it in the.
I know I'm so quick. You know me.
Yeah.
So I'll put that in the chat there. But yeah, if you could do that, that's first and foremost. Write your constituents. Call your congressmen, your senators. If you have a connection somehow, some way to President Trump or someone in your cabinet, and you have a position of influence on your podcast, wherever, spread the word, because we have 2 months. Otherwise, this is irreversible. You're a 990-foot vessel, 53,000 tons getting dropped in the Gulf, and that's it. It's done. You're not pulling it out. So I'm writing that in there right now. And as I told Nora, this is such a vast issue. It's so hard to explain in short. And I welcome anybody that wants to. You can find my number on the website, everything. If you have questions further, you can reach out to me. I'll answer. You email my email. If enough people are interested, I would love to sit down and actually go more in depth on this, because people need to know. This is going to be a bipartisan issue. It's going to hurt a lot of people, and it's going to have generational impacts. And if you're a Republican and conservative movement, this is 100% going to impact us going forward. And especially anybody like myself or anyone else who's going to run as candidates later on, they will not touch us. We will be forever branded with this, and that's going to be a serious situation.
Carlos, before you leave, I wanted to ask you, so they were saying that the making it into a museum is not financially possible. And they were also saying that they were going to turn it to a reef to make it the largest man-made reef. So do you feel like it can be afforded? And being the largest man-made reef seems like a great accomplishment.
So here's the thing where there's a lot of misinformation being spread by the county. Let's talk about artificial reefs, for example. Artificial reefs aren't measured in length alone. They seem to think it is. What they're trying to do is beat the USS Oriskany by length, because their USS Oriskany is about 88 feet shorter than the United States. Artificial reefs are measured in volume, length, height, width, and clean materials. Very important. You can't get classified as an artificial reef unless you get a signed document by the EPA and other different regulatory agencies that state this is an artificial reef. It's clean of materials. If you sink this vessel as the way it is, it's not clean material. Even in the size generation, it's not going to take that artificial reef title. So, this is merely a marketing ploy for them, and this is what they've been pushing. The flip side of that is they said, this can't be a museum ship. Well, it can with the right people. Unfortunately, the stewardship hasn't been greatest for the last 52 years. But at the end of the day, it can be. Their idea of a museum that they're claiming now is literally, they ripped off the funnels. They're giving it to the same organization that had to sell the ship to make a land-based museum that literally looks like two funnels just sticking out of the ground. If you look this up online, that's not a museum. The ship is the museum. There's no other way around that. There's also been comments recently by the National Resource Manager who said that, the only other option is scrapping. The ship is nowhere near capability of becoming a museum anymore if we had to abandon the reef project. Well, that's not our problem. You did this. When you got the ship, the funnels were on there, everything was intact the way it was for the last 73 years. You did this. You need to replace it. That's the bottom line. And it 100% can be restored as a museum ship. They're just only choosing their pockets to line. It's that simple.
So my question is this, Carlos, they bought the ship already. So how do you undo it? Do you make them whole? Like, what would you recommend the government should do?
So, like I was saying with that EO that I proposed, that is a legal pathway along with the America 250 Maritime Heritage Act and the resolution 649 that the New York City Council had put through to the president and Congress. If all three of those are used together and they can get to Congress and the president, what happens is they enact those things, they put those programs into play, they the president signs off on that EO, and then ultimately what happens is they exercise their lawful right, which they're allowed to do by the constitutional law, by the president, and then he would trade the SL7 I was mentioning, which would give the county their safer version of a vessel to actually meet the reef goals and just compensation. This way, they're compensated for whatever materials they may have remediated up to date. And, so everybody wins as this. We get the ship back, and then you get private-public partnerships. So, I mean, that's, I think having the New York City Council support right now, I mean, that's huge. That's a government entity, stating that we want to save the ship. While many might say it's symbolic, and that's all it is, it's actually more powerful than you think. So I think that's something that this administration and others need to really think about. And we need to really think about, what are we really going to be remembered by for America 250? Polluting the Gulf and destroying a national heritage icon? Or are we going to do something that's going to really last another 250 years in memory?
I agree. Well, Carlos, we appreciate you coming. I'm going to let you do your closing thoughts and tell us more about the website before you close out.
Yeah, so I know I kind of talked fast before. It's www.ssus, you spell out preservationfoundation.com. If you go there, you'll find a history there. There's a great video on the homepage. You can learn a lot about the ship, tells the whole history of the ship, very educational. It'll really indicate why this vessel is significant. And at the end of the day, we'll keep you updated with other things that are going on. And you'll also find other different bits of it. There's actually I'm trying to look at it right now. So if you go to the one section, which is interesting, and I haven't updated this yet, but there's called.
You want me to share the screen?
Sure. So Echoes of Legacy is a project that I'm going to start putting together with stories. I've collected the stories and whatnot on that tab. There's a lot of interesting stories. One of those stories is from a United States Merchant Marine friend of mine whose father served on the ship. In that being said, it is tragic when you hear a story like that and what a county like this wants to do. So check out the Echoes of Legacy format. Because it's important, because this is one last thing, is that this ship is the symbolic flagship of the United States Merchant Marine. This is the same academy that President Trump is actively revitalizing at Kings Point, New York. I mean, think about what that'll make him look like if they sink their flagship. Not to mention they're a federal entity that's not allowed to speak. They can't speak out on this. Captain Sean Tutorial's story is fascinating. Definitely check it out. That's a picture right there that you just looked at, and there's a plaque for it. This ship is literally woven into the fabric of their academy. I mean, the history is rich. That's his father right there. I mean, it's heartbreaking to and this is one of hundreds of stories. And I have to put more up on there, but I mean, it's devastating. It's really, really devastating because we don't honor our heritage. And, we decide that we don't honor protecting our waterways. To give you context real quick, lastly, is that, if anybody's been to the West Coast, the RMS Queen Mary that's out there, they call it the ghost ship that everybody goes to. That's the ship that this vessel, the United States, stole the transatlantic speed record from in 1952 and has held it since. She beat that ship by 10 hours in both directions, crushed her. And yet we lift up England's queen on our 250th and destroy our first lady. I mean, that says enough in itself. I mean, we're literally honoring all these foreign vessels that are foreign flagged, and we're just not taking care of our own. I mean, and then poison our Gulf. It's terrible.
For sure. Carlos, we definitely appreciate you coming. We definitely want to bring you back to keep us posted on this. This is like a really interesting, important topic that we'll definitely be following. I'm going to pull you back, but stay backstage, and we're going to do our closing thoughts as a team. Enzo, what's your closing thoughts?
You're muted. You're muted.
Oops. All right, my bad. I muted on both. Okay, so my closing thoughts are this was a very good episode. Carlos, thank you for coming. Candace Owens and Alex Jones, I think this is like another psyop type thing, like the Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes beef, or Candace is just running out of money and Alex Jones got to pay his legal fees for the whole Sandy Hook thing. So who really knows what that is? This is just distraction that they just want to put out there, because you got the one that's mainstream, it's all on X, it's all on TikTok, it's everywhere else, and then you got the crazies that go to Rumble and go watch Alex Jones. This will blow over in like 2 weeks that these guys are beefing. So who really gives a shit about them?
Damn. Now who cares? Kamal, what's your closing thoughts?
Man, Enzo, you got a point, man. Shit. Alex Jones with them legal fees, and Candace Owens, I keep telling y'all she grifting, but get your grift on, I guess, man. Carlos, I appreciate you coming on here and explaining what the hell is going on with the ship and everything, and explained it to like you explained to a 5-year-old, because at first I did not know what you were talking about, but once you explained it, I understand this is like a big deal. I appreciate you coming on, letting us know about this. Shout out to everybody on the panel, from Gray, who don't like animals no more. Nora, I appreciate you. You feel me? Enzo, appreciate you. Maybe one day I'll come up on the panel and roast your chat. You feel me? Shout out to King and Mia. Shout out to you too. Y'all was on here earlier. I know I came on late. I had some other obligations I had to handle real quick. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have some good resolutions. You feel me? Unless you're a jackass that was in the chat. That Danny, bruh. You feel me? And Eric, you right, bruh. You right. Because in San Diego Imperial Beach, it be stinking over there. That sewer is terrible over there. I didn't know you couldn't surf over there no more, but Eric is right in the chat, man. It is very bad over there. And especially when you get closer to the border, it get terrible over there. The stinkiness, man. It just be terrible. You feel me? But shout out to Eric for that. You feel me? And you still a motherfucker. I saw you in the chat talking shit. I appreciate you though, bro. Anyway, I got the new party pinned to the top of my chat. Y'all click on the link, sub to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when they go live. If you want to come over to on my side, Kamal Johnson Network, hit your bird with a sub. Also hit that notification bell so you know when I go live. Resolutions, man. Be about it. Don't be no little hoe about it. That's what I gotta say. You feel me? Into 2026, we're gonna find some left-leaning events to go to. I would not let Mia say y'all broke and don't got no goddamn money. And we might set some shit up our damn self. We'll have some lemonade out there for Don Lemonade. He probably come out, you feel me? And we're gonna have who else in the DNC? We're gonna have like 31 wigs for Joy Reid. She gonna come back. We're gonna most definitely have Roland Martin. We have some butter biscuits for you. You feel me? We're gonna get it popping. And Gray, we gotta have an animal analogy before we go out the new year, bro. We gotta have at least one.
Oh God, Gray.
Thank you, Carlos, for coming. As far as the Candace Owens, Alex Jones beef, I mean, you never know what to have on your bingo card with right-wing influencers. It's basically turned into entertainment, and it's entertaining to do the podcast to talk about this. So all this stuff we'll keep track of. As far as Carlos with the ship, I just watched the Titan documentary. We covered this on here. So it's literally we came on here. If you don't know what a Titan documentary is, it's a submarine where this guy was building a private company. He took it down multiple times, and like they weren't checking on it and things like that. So that's scary to me, going out on the water and things not being checked. So I think it's good that someone's talking about the environment and someone's actually taking a look at vehicles that's on the water. Kamal, as far as the animal analogy, I don't know if you heard this one, but it was a frog that it was a scorpion that went to a frog, and the scorpion asked the frog, "Can you take me over the river?" And then the frog says no, because as soon as I take you over the river, you're gonna sting me in the back. And then the scorpion says, "No, no, I promise I won't sting you in the back." So the frog takes the deal, and then the frog and the scorpion are halfway across the river, and then the frog yells, "Ah!" and feels a sting in his back and says, "Why did you sting me? Now we both shall drown." And the scorpion's reply was, "Sorry, it's just in my nature." Like we always tell a new party, always vote.
He used a Trump analogy. Anyways, guys, 2026 is going to be the best year yet. The best is yet to come. Happy early New Year's. Happy New Year's to everybody. Come back tomorrow night. We will be doing the best of the Man Cave show. The topic will be one of our top shows. We broke 100,000 views that night. It was about Charlie Kirk. And then Thursday night's best of will be about MAGA censorship. That was our next best show of the year. We broke 60,000 views that night. So it's been a very successful year. I owe it all to our team, Enzo, Kamal, Mia, Skeptic, Ray, Mr. Rippy, 85, Ken, Graham. Am I forgetting anybody? I feel like I am. Doc. Thank you guys for the phenomenal year that we've had. Let's make it another 2 million views, because we're at 2.2 million views. So don't discount the small little guys. We are getting there. Hopefully next year we will have 1 million subs. We're gonna do it big. We're gonna do it big. We almost reached our goal. So if you guys please could hit that notification bell or that subscribe bell. We are almost to 10,000. That was our goal for the year. We are almost there. We're at 8,000. So if you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe bell. We still got one more day. Maybe tonight, this week, or the last 24 hours will get us there. But we appreciate you. And also, we have IRL content coming. Kamal should know this. We are doing a meetup as a team. So more to come on that. We will have IRL content for you. But anyways, like we always say on the new party, always vote. God bless. And